Hi, I'm Marna and this is the Dolls Rescue Channel. First thing I want to do is thank each and every person. I am amazed how many people joined in on the Dolls Gone Goth challenge that we put out for you to showcase your dolls and your DIYs. I watched every single one. I loved every single one. I am thrilled that you all participated. And J Dolls UK and I are continuing the fun with the Dolls Gone Goth. And August, Friday the 13th, we are going to showcase black wedding dresses. It does not matter if you made it or bought it or your doll is already wearing one. We'd like to see it. We are adding to the hashtag Dolls Gone Goth Wedding. And what that'll do is that'll put all of the wedding videos into the Dolls Gone Goth hashtag with the addition of the wedding so we can split it out and see them all. It'll be really fun. I had an idea for those of you that say you do not sew or you're looking for easier crafts to make a wedding dress. Very, very simple. And a veil for your doll. And this is how I did those. Okay, so I got out Gothia. Of course I got out Gothia. And Ruby. Ruby looks a whole lot like Elizabeth. I really like these dolls. Ruby does not yet have her new eyelashes like Elizabeth and a couple of my other new girls do. We are going to make Elizabeth a easy hand sewing wedding dress and veil. Taking a soapstone on the back side of this fabric, and we're going to see how it goes. It's not marking well at all. That is not gonna, it's a reasonable facsimile of a mark on the fabric to use. When you're using black, you can't just use a pen, you know, like an ink pen. You could just fold and cut, but we're going to do this. Let's see how it comes out. Can barely see it, but I'm going to cut that out and then I'm going to cut the tiniest hole. I'll show you that in a second. All right, we have our circle cut out, and now what I'm going to do is fold this backwards. You could, and I should, and maybe I will, offset this so that it's shorter in the front and longer in the back. I'm not going to do that for this craft, but I would another day. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tiniest amount. It is amazing, the small amount, you can always take more, but once you have that hole in there, you're committed. This fabric stretches a little bit, so we're going to see how that goes on Elizabeth. Put her little feet in. I don't want it so tight that it springs her hips. In other words, and I say this all the time, but if you're new to my channel, what ruins dolls' hips and makes them loosey-goosey is people cram like this. I'm not going to do that. People cram pants and skirts over that, and when you get to here, that pulls right across here, which pops this out of the tight joint. It'll still be on there, but it'll be loosey-goosey. Now, she came a little bit loose, but I'm not going to run it. Here's the tiny amount that I cut off. This was the first go at it, and then I went back and took such a tiny amount, and then I pushed that on to Ruby. Let me push it back up. There we go. For heaven's sakes. Maybe I could have got it just a little smaller. From there, you can let it hang like this. You could add a ribbon around the waist, which is what we are going to do, or 100 other things. You could add lace. Adding lace around the bottom would give it a little length. You could use a bigger plate. You could use a smaller plate. This could be a skirt, you could make a top. For today, this is what we're going to have. The next thing you're going to need for the veil is elastic. Now I'm using black. Oh, I'm wondering how this is going to hold on her head, to be honest with you. Elastic and a Blythe head. Well, this is going to be fun. Let's give it a go. All right, I'm measuring this off in the back where I want to place it, and I'm pulling my thumbs together. Hold that, and then I back up just a little bit. Between this little bit and the stitching that you're going to put in, that will make it tighter on the doll's head. And what we're going to do, oh gosh, this can be done 1,000 ways. We're going to take this black tool, and I want to double it, and I want a long train. So to start, what I'm going to do is make my, this stuff always comes crooked. I don't care where you buy it or how you buy it. It doesn't line up. So good luck with that. And for the most part, it doesn't matter, because even if it's even, when you use tool, it like moves, especially doubled. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna cut a chunk. We want it, of course, wider than her head. So I'm gonna go to about here. And I'm gonna cut this all the way to the end. And I'm really hacking more than cutting. I just want to show you that anybody can participate in these challenges. Anybody. You don't have to sew, but if you wanted to, you could. And there's a lot of easy crafts that people can do. Now what I'm doing is evening out my two ends so that they're together. I'm going to put my arm in it and make it even. How long of a train do I want? Well, I haven't decided yet. But I do want the veil to come down over her face a little bit. So what I want to do, take it this way and give it some gathering at the top of the head. At the top of the head before her face. Okay, right in there. And then I'm going to take that, let me grab a little bit more. Then I'm going to take my tool, and I'm going to fold it in half this way and accordion it. You know what an accordion looks like. And we're going to, I can't find center now, here we go. Take this back a little bit, because you're working at center, that's your center. Take it down, back up and down. Okay, so now this is center, this line here. I'm going to fold back, down, take that halfway up. What I did was I moved center towards here about halfway. I'm going to pin that with a straight pin, and I'm going to try to do the same thing on the other side. Take all this accordion or gathered, and I'm going to fold that to my pin where the center is. My first fold over is going to be there. You know what, I did that backwards. I need to work from behind. Let's take that to the pin, and then down and up again, and there you go. Make sure it's even, and you can fake it underneath to make it look more even on the top. In other words, I was longer this way, so underneath I slid that towards the other side so that it looks even from the center up top. At this point, you will put it on your doll's head. Take your end piece, pulling that taut, and putting it right up in that veil. And you will pin that so that you can stitch all this to your elastic. And you do that on both sides so that it comes over the face, but, oh, that kind of fell. Comes down over the face, but you don't want it sticking out like that. So what you're doing is you're bringing this back up neatly with the elastic. And you do that on both sides. Okay, once I got this together, I did have to work with it a little bit on the head. I had to loosen, I added 2 more pins, and I did have to work with it a little bit to get the veil to come down over her face and make it even. So count on that little bit of time pinning it down. And when you pin tulle, the pins will slide. So it takes a little bit of patience, of which I do not have. And now we're going to start in the middle of, you're going to be sewing this from front and back. Usually when you sew, you work from one side or the other. With this, you're going to work with both. And the first thing you're going to do is find center of your elastic and put it in the center of your veil or thereabouts, and start your stitching on the elastic, because your knot will go right through your tooling. And what you're going to do is I'm starting in the middle. I'm going to go one way and then the other. Now, as I go, I will stretch my elastic. And the reason I'm doing that is because if you don't, your elastic won't stretch on the head or your stitches will pull out. What you have at this point will look like a cape. But once you get your elastic sewn together, this will come down, this part will sit up on the head, and you can add flowers or beads or whatever you want to add here, and then this will come down over the face. So the next thing you want to do is sew your elastic. And I'm doing this by hand today because I'm trying to encourage beginner crafters that they can make their own wedding dress and veil for their dolls. With Ruby's face so far down, I've got to get some of those neck things. Darren's been working on it, but he has been so busy, bless his heart. And it's a good thing because it's actual work. But anyway, I wanted to tilt her up a little bit. I also want to bend her knee a little bit because it's so cute. She is one of the less expensive Blythes. I paid under $10 for this doll. I think it was like, I don't know, $9.80 something. But a lot of people forget to trim their veils. And I didn't do a lot, but I did add beads. So Ruby wanted a Dolls Gone Goth wedding. Thank you to everyone that participated in our Dolls Gone Goth, and it's open to anyone. Anyone on YouTube, we'd love for you to join in. This time we're using Dolls Gone Goth wedding. A special thank you to everyone that participated in our last challenge, and especially to J Dolls UK. Go by and see her channel. There's a link below. And she has a little video for you today also on the wedding dresses. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, a comment, and subscribe.